All right, hello ladies and gents. Welcome to Speedrun Saturdays, episode number 3. We have two handsome looking gentlemen on screen with us. We have Shenanigans. If you want to go say hey to everybody, explain who you are.
I'm Shenanigans. I'm a Pokemon owner, mostly Gen 1 stuff, and I'm excited to watch Yellow TAS today.
And then we also have TyKevin83 who created this TAS.
Hello, yes, I'm TyKevin83. I work in the TAS spot team as one of the admins, picking out content to bring to events like GDQ. I do a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon Yellow and Red Blue tassing, especially in glitchless, though a little bit of the other glitched runs too.
So before we even get into this is a glitchless, but are we going to be seeing like anything that might be a little sus, might be actually kind of a glitch? If we're...
you're gonna see a lot of very sus things that are
Gen 1.
that are just barely flying under the rule set.
Let's just go ahead and start this now. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, this is gonna get really off the wall really quick. There's like several glitches that we're setting up even right now as the TAS starts, because one of the things that happens with Pokemon TASes is that the RNG is always rolling from the start of the console. So we're already starting to like delay things and align the RNG to where we want it to be to get a really, really good Nidoran later in the grass. You're gonna see some really weird things happening with the rival name. Not the player name is just gonna be a normal A.
Yeah.
But you're gonna see some really weird stuff happening with the rival name that I'll explain in about 30 seconds.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Writing and then deleting characters in the rival name, because we still need the rival name to be short with that just A. But then right here, this is why we needed to write into the rival name before setting it as A. Because we're going to see the screen wipe that does this in 2 halves instead of the full long wipe. Because in Pokemon Red, it doesn't have the concept of having a like tutorial for catching or anything here. There's no encounter with Pikachu or any other Pokemon. So when they added it in Yellow, they forgot that you don't have a Pokemon yet, and it goes and tries to get your first Pokemon's level, which ends up reading from garbage data. And the place where the garbage data is happens to be the same place where your rival name is. So that writing data into the rival name gives you a faster animation.
A lot of the time save for TASes is like the creativity of stuff as well. Like coming up with like really creative stuff to save frames here and there.
Yeah, and Shen, you're going to see a little bit more of that here. You might be familiar with this one already, but the move Tackle is actually faster with the animation on than with the animation off. So we haven't touched our options menu yet, and we're using holding B to get all the text.
I was about to ask, are you about to just get wrecked? Yeah.
Double Gen 1 miss growl as well, because if you Gen 1 miss or if you miss a move, you don't have to watch the animation. So I had to double Gen 1 miss growl so that you didn't have to watch the animation.
Yeah, and it specifically has to be growl and not Thundershock that you Gen 1 miss, because the text for missing a move like growl is "but it failed," which is way shorter than Thundershock missed. We do use Pikachu for one fight, and he dies as part of like a sacrifice.
Oh, yeah,
fight,
I guess that makes sense.
Which we're gonna see in a minute, but it ends up not mattering. Really, the reason that we choose to lose that fight and not win it is that we want later in the game to have a Ninetales in the opponent's party, because Ninetales has quick attack, which can then be used to set up red bar without losing entire turns. Because we can just make the quick attack hit us first and then finish off the Pokemon.
Yeah, the rivals team is different based off of how you win the rival battles. So if you lose both, you get Vaporeon. If you win one, or I think if you win the Viridian one, you get Flareon. It's like really weird.
Just interjecting there, that we just saw the options set right there, and we were able to set all of our options at once by pressing left at the same frame that you press A to open the options menu. This is a trick I found a couple of years ago, and it's crazy. But it has a side effect though, that the audio for the whole rest of the game is going to use earphone 3 instead of the default mono audio, and it's going to sound awful, and I'm very sorry for that.
What?
Yeah,
you monster.
Faster.
And through all of this, we're doing what we call YOLO grass to go through like the optimal grass to not get encounters.
It is tool assisted, so like all the RNG stuff, it's not like you can't just like do anything at any moment, but you like almost can, because you might have to wait like a certain amount of frames for like the correct luck, and if you have to wait too many frames to do something, then it might become slower.
In some of the tasks of these Gen 1 games, things can become so rare that it's faster to do something that's slightly less optimal, just because the RNG is so difficult to find. And then we used a path searching bot to find this path to walk and get the Nidoran here.
So how are the stats on this Nidoran?
It actually is a little bit different from RTA. We still get perfect attack and near perfect speed and perfect special, but we want really low defense because having lower defense lets us get red bar faster.
The high HP is actually kind of interesting. You might think you want like lower HP so you get to red bar faster, but red bar is a percentage of your hit points, so having higher hit points gives you a better threshold.
This is also manipulated, so we have to run like a path search algorithm to find a Pidgeotto in the forest with the right stats to be able to kill it in the right amount of time, and so that it can kill Pikachu and set up red bar on Nidoran.
Oh, that's pretty sick. Okay.
We're not doing Ash percent?
No. We could catch the Pidgeotto, but turns out having Nidoran is even better.
Yeah, so I'll mention I've not the TAS. That's amazing, getting straight to 1 hit point.
Wow. Okay, so we have red bar now.
It's not quite as useful as you'd hope because in wild encounters, you don't skip jingles at the end of the battle. So we still had to go through the level up and the horn attack learn jingle.
Oh, I see.
Weird quirk with yellow as well is like the different like bars. So there's red bar, there's yellow bar, and there's like green bar.
The yellow and red ones have a little bit of lag when they load because they like load as green and then it has to switch the palettes for them to.
So you want to be at either like full health or low health. Low health to skip like level up jingles, and then high health to not have the lag. So it's really interesting how you have to be at like these certain HP thresholds, and that's something to like kind of watch for throughout the run.
But here we need to get a Pidgey in the forest because Pidgey has the fastest cry to use as a flyer.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
I wouldn't have even thought about that. That's really cool.
This is one of my favorite fights in the whole TAS on the Sandshrew now.
Oh my goodness.
Because you have to 1 in 39. So the damage, I'll explain quick. There's this 85 to 100% damage roll. So that hitting that exact 100% of the maximum damage is a 1 in 39 chance because of the way the 8-bit math works out. And so the combination of critical hit and getting the maximum amount of damage is always like 1 in 390. Yeah. Until we get the later evolutions where our speed gets faster, because base speed is what determines your crit rate. Up to this point, we're already like saving a huge chunk of the total like time over the real-time run. Because so much of the time save is just in like having to not worry about things in the setup process for like at the end it's similar to like you just like absolutely bonkers Nidoking that just destroys everything. But in the beginning there's more of a like gap between being able to crit everything and not being able to just crit on command.
Weedle goes down a lot easier.
Yes. And then this stinks. There's no way to get rid of that level up through red bar there. Mainly because we want the quick attack from the Rattata to be what we take damage from on the next fight. You can also take damage from the Caterpie at the beginning of this fight, but then you don't kill it in one turn. So there's this trade-off between like, do we intentionally lose turns to take damage, or do we lose that level up jingle?
Yeah, it's better to lose half the turn on the Rattata by watching quick attack than lose the full turn on the Caterpie. Even though you're gonna lose, it's like what, 10 frames total for having yellow bar for 2 fights?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And now we're at really low red bar here.
Yeah, it's really nice being super deep in red bar. You can get like 3 or 4 levels before you hit yellow bar. Oh, that was cool. So hit the Ekans into red bar so that you never saw the yellow bar as well.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, it looks like we're skipping a bunch of items here.
Yeah, you don't need rare candies in TAS because you can crit everything. So the idea of getting rare candies just for like a little bit extra damage isn't that useful.
Now, are you A-pressing here? It looks like you are, but it's hard to tell.
Yes, every once in a while. I think there's like 3 or 4 on the first floor, and then the TAS gets like lucky for a TAS and doesn't have to A-press very much after that. That's
pretty nice. Yeah, so what we're talking about with an A-press is if when you're walking around in Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, if you hit the A button while you're walking around in the overworld, your character will like delay for 2 frames. We use it during a lot of manipulations to like line up our RNG better, because you know if you're walking through Mount Moon and you know you're about to get an encounter, you can hit the A button and then delay yourself from getting onto that tile at the right time and skip the encounter. So hitting the A button is a good way to do that.
Yeah, and it almost always means that you don't get another encounter for a long time again, because the encounter rate's really low in Mount Moon. Yeah, so you can see we're not actually below 20% here. We're at 10 out of 49, but some rounding lets us still be in red bar. And that's why that Rattata quick attack strat works out so well.
Yeah, that was also really cool, keeping the Grimer in green bar and using tackle, which is less characters than horn attack, saving a couple frames. So pretty cool to figure that fight out. It was definitely some cool routing.
And then your cursor is still on horn attack later for this coughing, where you actually need to use the horn attack first because you don't want to go back. It's a 7-frame cost to go down to tackle, then back up to horn attack.
Really?
So when you're finishing the fight, you usually don't worry about that switching earlier.
I'm gonna start being so self-conscious about my menuing now. I'm like, oh, I could have saved 2 frames there. What am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah, menuing is cool in runs. You have to get really quick. Okay, I'm going straight to this move. Is down down A, and you have to do it really quickly.
Yeah, we could bring that up because there's a strategy called double input that you'll see a little bit in the TAS here, where you can hit down and then alternate the right and left buttons to reapply the down button. And in RTA, you can do that in some scenarios, but you don't usually do it for really long stretches because it's difficult to hit so many successive, really quick manipulations.
Is it possible to get those by accident, or would you have to do those inputs? Because I feel like I've done that before, but I didn't know how.
Yeah, exactly. It's very easy to accidentally do it if you're not very practiced with the game.
Oh, that doesn't
look at the swag PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yup.
Wait, doesn't that lose frames, or can you do it?
It is a entertainment trade-off. Yeah, I intentionally took frame losses to swag a few things, and we did have to deposit Pikachu. So we were able to kill off Pikachu earlier, which would have let us skip a bunch of cutscenes just by having him not be alive. But we have to deposit him because we need to use the center to set our dig waypoint from Vermilion later.
Makes sense.
And then he would be alive again.
Oh my god, doing this gym at level 18.
Yeah, this is really ridiculous. You would never be able to do this as a human.
No, you cannot.
There's a lot of reasons you want to be, for RTA runs, you want to be level 25 specifically for Misty, because it does so many different things. You have a chance to outspeed, you have a much favorable range to 1-hit the Staryu and 2-hit the Starmie. In this, level 18, we'll just get 4 criticals with Horn Attack and dodge some Bubble Beams. No big deal. I was going to say, I don't even think that's going to kill.
We take Water Gun here first because we need to combine it with one of the damage ranges from Bubble Beam to get to the lowest red bar possible. Bubble Beam either does too much or too little damage on its own to get us to 1 HP.
I thought you were going to go with Water Gun critical from the Starmie, but it makes sense to take the Water Gun and the Bubble Beam there.
Yeah, there's still some wiggle room with that not being quite precise enough.
Oh, interesting.
But we do kill it in 3 turns, and we get some Gen 1 misses for Water Gun from the Starmie.
That's
specifically
crazy.
Water Gun for the 1 frame faster than
Yes, for the 1 frame faster Dex.
Wow.
So stupid. Probably see a quick attack at some point from either Pidgey or Rattata. Get a little bit deeper into red bar.
Yeah, the way the red bar routing works out here, it's best to get a quick attack from the Rattata on the next fight, and then again from the Raticate in Vermilion. And then those 2 hits are the only manipulation of your HP you need to get all the way to the heal pad at the Lavender Tower.
Yeah,
wow.
Nice.
That's all the way through SS Anne. That's through the Surge. That's so far.
All the Rock Tunnel fights, the Gambler,
Yeah.
half of the Lavender Tower, because you have the rival fight and then 2 Channelers. Yeah, it's crazy.
There's only, I think, 3 heals that we do at center. So you heal in Cerulean when you get here to set your warp point. You get the free heal in Lavender Tower, and you're gonna, I assume, heal at some point in Celadon.
Yes,
So-
this tab does do that. In red, the time loss from having to set up red bar again makes it such that you can never effectively center in Celadon. In red blue, the red bar mechanic overrides the jingles when you enter the battle, but in yellow it only overrides the jingles when Pokemon die.
Yeah, there's a little sound effect. It's choo, as the Pokemon falls off the screen. I think that's the whatever you call it, the sound that gets saved.
Yeah.
You also
There's
skip level up jingles, right? That's the other big thing.
Also skip level up jingles for yellow, which is super nice.
Yeah, unless they're at the end of the battle, I think. Or does that still skip them in yellow?
And you'll see here it's overriding a bunch of Thrash. There's a whole bunch of jingles when you try to learn Thrash. It's way faster.
How much does Thrash save by not having to go through the menu?
So you'd think it would save a ton of time, but it actually doesn't because there's this wind up you'll see here.
Yeah.
Just because
it's
of that.
It's actually mostly used just because it overrides crits. Like, you don't need to crit it very often.
Okay.
So if you would not need to crit a regular move like Bubble Beam for 3 turns, it's actually slightly faster to use Bubble Beam for all 3 of those turns. And we end up using Thrash mostly for the PP management, where it only uses 1 Thrash PP to kill 3 things. We get through the rocket fight here pretty effectively. The Thrashes here at lower levels are actually like ranges, because usually you'd be 25 already here with all the rare candies you go pick up.
This is like a 1 in 39, right? On the Machop?
It's a pretty rare range, yeah, to hit those. The extra, whenever you hit the level, Shen knows this, it's like 3, 5, and 8, I think. Yeah. When you hit the like certain level cutoffs, the way the rounding works out, you get huge boosts to the amount of damage you do.
Yeah, 0, 3, 5, and 8. If your level ends in any of those numbers, then you will have slightly more damage due to how the rounding works. Let's say you use 25 and 26. Being level 26, you won't deal that much more damage than 25 because 25 gets that bonus. But 25 does a lot more damage than 24 because you have the level and the bonus. That's why you do Misty at 25. You get like a pretty big boost from 24, and it makes the fight significantly better for RTA runs.
So do we get? I guess we don't get the Mew truck here, or?
Yeah, Shen, come on.
HMs.
We should be getting a Mew right now.
Yeah, teach it all the HMs. It would be way faster than catching Pidgey and getting that Charmander.
Well, we call them HM butlers now.
Yeah.
HM butlers. We call them HM friends usually, but yeah, that's great. HM butlers.
Yeah, butlers has been catching on recently.
I stole that from your Speedlock commentary.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so right here, if you clear this text box fast enough, you don't get a jingle for getting the HM. And I think it's based off your name length, right?
Yeah, it's a like side effect. They don't expect you to be naming things A, so when they tested this, I'm sure that like never ran into that scenario. We had to do a manipulation on the boat to set up the cans, because the point at which the cans are in Surge's gym is actually with when you enter Vermilion City.
Oh, what?
Really cool.
Yeah, so we had to already set up the can manip for where we want our first and second cans.
All the way through there.
During that, or how are you setting up the RNG during that?
Delays and changes in like the walk pattern. You can even just like change the places you turn, and so you see NPCs at different points, and that will just slightly change the RNG.
So, yeah, so similar to a current manip.
So we don't need to do a save and quit reset because we were able to manipulate that from leaving the SSN.
Yeah, I better see a swag Surge can. Come on.
No, I did run into that though in TAS though, where if you try to like click the can to the right side too quickly, you'll swag the first can that you clicked again.
And Surge in yellow, 1 Raichu, and he learned about people just bringing a ground type and taught it Mega Kick and Mega Punch. So got a lot smarter in this game.
This fight's pretty hard to manipulate because you have to manipulate the Raichu choosing to use the move Growl in the same time that you're hitting some really like difficult ranges with the Thrashes.
Yeah, I'm surprised that 2 hit. And this guy.
Yep. But hey, all this text smashing is perfect.
That's true, yeah. This is the fastest I've ever seen someone get the bike voucher. That was impressive. The amount of times I've been like item fool in a randomizer when I talk to him, it's so awful.
Oh no, yeah, because you have to go through all the text to figure out.
Talk to him again, yeah. It's pretty nice, honestly. Was that a right-left buffer there to get down to the bike?
Exactly. So that scroll is way faster than you'd see in RTA because every frame you go down, it also like cancels. There's this like wind up if you just like hold the down button at the beginning, and if you do the left-right buffering, you don't get that wind up.
Yeah, it's kind of like if anyone here is a classic Tetris fan. It's like a DAS player versus a Hyper Tapper. With DAS, you have to like hold down. It like takes a second before it goes up to full speed. But if you like mash down, or in this case, you hold down and mash left, right, based off how fast you hit left and right, it'll just scroll that fast. So you can scroll way faster by mashing quickly. Oh, you swap Bubble Beam to the top. That's really cool. Swapping it to the top, I wonder what the idea there is, because you'll probably be teaching Ice Beam over it, right?
Yeah, we can swap so fast in TAS that there's little sections where we swap moves to have them be first for a while, and then swap them back because we want something else to be used first for a while.
Okay, yeah. So let's say it takes like 50 frames to like swap the move, but
it's like 14.
Oh,
What?
Okay, so
Really?
14 frames to swap the move. That's way less than I thought, and that's I think 7 frames per use or something.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's actually kind of
You
crazy.
can make
how
that
much-
back easy.
We're about to see some of the best part of the TAS, like most TAS-y part of the TAS, in my
Okay.
opinion. 'Cause
I'm
we're about to
honestly
hit
not even sure what
Celadon.
to expect.
Just like all the menuing for the like buying items
Oh.
Yeah.
is so crisp compared to RTA.
Oh, this will be cool. Are you gonna
You
get
see this
the
in
elixir
RTA
top?
actually. Some runners are confident
Yeah.
enough to do this. You get elixir from the top, and then that allows you to enter this next ladder from the top, so you never turn in this building.
Mhm.
Because if anytime you turn the first time on a map, it causes a 2-frame extra delay.
So you save 2 frames if you grab the elixir from the top, and you lose like 45 seconds when you miss it, and then like have to go back 3 tiles.
And
and-
RTA, and then you
miss it
see it all in races, and people are like fumbling around trying to find it.
That was a really cool strat there. Buying 2 Horn Drill TMs, because trying to fill the bag, and you're going to teach Horn Drill, so you have to buy it anyway. 2 Pokédolls, because you're going to
Yeah.
use one. You're trying to keep the bag full.
Yeah, and it doesn't even lose 1 frame because you can buffer the up to go to the
Yep.
second one. It's crazy. Yeah, you need to get to the first gym leader after this gauntlet without having anything left in your bag. And you can see it going up to
Actually
7
buying
there.
speeds.
Yeah, you buy speeds. You can get Ball Beam Speed Falls to get the same effect, but
Yeah.
buying speeds is worth it in the current routing.
And rival time. I'm going to assume we are going to see some cheese on this fight. And by cheese, I mean hitting Horn Drills without X accuracy.
You might see that, but you might see more cheese.
Ooh.
This is a discovery just for this specific task. So this
Okay.
one here is the 3rd time I did a task of glitch, and we saved 420 frames on this rewrite.
Oh, you thrash here. Wow.
We saved 9 frames over Horn Drill forced hits by thrashing for 4 turns.
That's interesting. Is that just due to... I guess you have to get it's a one-hit KO text every time.
Yep, and you have to enter the fight menu.
Yep. Yeah, 4-turn thrash. Like, the longer thrash, the faster it gets, like, per average per turn or whatever. So
Yeah,
4-turn
it's
thrash is
only
a
really
good-
worth it if there's a 4-poke scenario, or if there's a
Really?
3-poke where like text boxes are involved, because that wind-up animation is so slow.
And right there, that was the second forced heal of the run, which that probably the second, and there will only be 3, so we're almost done with our free heals. And one other thing that I thought was cool to mention was there's 2 elixirs that you can get in Lavender Tower, and you picked up the item ball elixir, but you didn't pick up the hidden item elixir. Item balls and hidden items have a different jingle, and the item ball is a faster jingle. So it was better to pick up the item ball elixir than the hidden one.
Yeah, and there's
Oh.
extra steps involved. So if we were to like not get the earlier ether and instead get that elixir here, not only would we need to worry about another thing to put in our bag, but we would also need to worry about the extra steps. It'd be like a little more than a second of time loss.
Yeah, because you're on the bike to pick up the max elixir as well. And
Yeah,
you-
the max elixir and the max ether are options for bike pickups.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Yeah.
there's also some optimization, like micro optimizations in the fly menus, because you can double input like that scrolling you do to go through the item bag really quickly. You can double input in the fly menus to go like boop boop boop, back and forth with left and holding down. There's some fun little menuing here. We get to swap up our X
Yeah,
speeds.
it's speeds to slot 2, I figured. I wasn't sure when you would do that. It's a lot faster to have items in slot 1 or 2, because you can instantly buffer them. So the bike and the X speed are the items that are going to be used the most, so it's really good to have them in slots 1 and 2.
Yeah, so in the overworld, we'll see some. If we had an input viewer here, you'd see like you press A to use the bike, and then you add the B button to get on it, because then it presses A again. In a fight, you would do the same thing if you had X speed in the first slot. You'd press A to use items, and then like add B to use an X speed from the first slot. But because X speed is only used 7 times, and the bike is used more than that, we want the bike first, and then X speed.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're not hitting A to get on the bike. You're actually hitting B. So
also, we're not using cut here.
Yeah, another weird difference between yellow and red-blue, that biking around the bushes is faster in yellow, and in red-blue it's faster to use cut on the bushes.
That's actually interesting. Does that have to do with like where the Pokemon is in your party, or is it like lag-based?
It's differences in the lag when you use cut.
Okay. That was so wrong. You could have avoided all that grass.
Yeah. There's like some really fun manipulation you can do here, because you're intentionally not repelling this grass, right? But if you're tasked, you can also like swag extra grass for no reason.
It was like swag grass for no reason. Yeah, it really bugged me.
Okay.
You don't always do it though. Like the RNG lining up is also important for lot losing frames.
Look at me not getting counters just to troll you.
There's an extra step of grass there.
Yeah, you're
all of
just sure. Why not? Yeah, just take a hike in there.
Yeah. So this is a fun fight you can do in yellow in some routes where you thrash the drowsies, but here we can thrash and crit the drowsies at like 7 lower levels. We do different gym orders in stealth order. We're like going straight to Koga because we want the speed badge boost really badly.
Yeah. Did you naturally outspeed the Kadabra at 33?
Yes. That's also something that is very precisely routed, because it would be faster to do the double Jigglypuff fight in like where you do the Gambler on the way to Celadon. It'd be faster to do a double Jigglypuff fight, but it's not, because it's less experience, and then you're not level 33 for the Kadabra. And now here finally we have a good setup for getting Red Bar again, because we can use Thrash on the Drowsy and Hypno, and we'll lose a turn out of this, but we'll get back in our Red Bar.
Yeah, could have horn drilled, I guess, the Hypno, but
then it also messes up your PP routing a lot. So it's just
perfect.
Yeah, 104
that's awesome.
The confusion crit.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting they updated Koga's team in this game. A lot of the yellow gym leaders are updated. I think Brock and Misty are basically the same, but Brock's lower leveled. But then the rest of the gym leaders kind of have some cool updates.
And you can see our bag was full for that fight there.
Oh, yep. Finally managed to get the bag full with the Surf HM.
So we can't get the TM, therefore we skip a ton of text, actually.
Oh, and yeah, never got a Pokemon that can learn Surf, so actually gonna have to teach that to Nidoking. But it's an okay attack.
Yeah, it's only used once because it has a flash animation, and there's just like one niche scenario.
You only need 3 HMs to beat Red Blue. You only need Cut, Strength, and Surf. Fly, obviously fast. That's why we get the Pidgey. It's nice that you don't need that many HMs in this game.
Lots of RNG and manipulation about to happen here.
So we were mentioning with the RNG manipulation for encounters earlier, this is probably going to be one of the places with the most RNG manipulation in the run. So you'll probably see the character kind of like lag walking through here. Those are A presses. So you can see like these little tiny stalls every once in a while. He's pressing the A button to delay by 2 frames to get different encounter rates.
Yeah, and if I'm being crisp enough, they're in like very hard to notice places.
That's what I was actually going to say, is that sometimes I do the A presses and it doesn't feel like it actually happened because I don't really notice it, but sometimes you can really see the stutter.
It really just depends on like where you do the A press. Like if you do the A press when you're turning, I always feel like I notice it a little bit more.
We're gonna straight up get this. We do have to drop the slot with Blizzard.
Yeah, you need Blizzard, but you also need a full bag, so you kind of just have to teach Blizzard here.
Yep.
And doing Erica first.
Yeah, because we rushed the mansion, now we have an ice move and we can use Blizzard on all of these things.
Yeah, this show would be kind of awful if you didn't have Blizzard. I was curious why you went to the mansion that was
I think that's done in the red-blue one, but the Erica fight has a lot higher levels in yellow.
Yeah. She's not evolved in this game. She has Weepin' Bell and Gloom, but I think they're like 4 levels higher, something like that. I think she's level 29 in red blue, and I think she's like mid-30s in this.
That's Jerry, my dog, if you guys can hear that.
Yeah, no
Hi,
big
Jerry.
deal. Probably getting quick attack here, I would assume. Oh wait, yeah, you have to X speed there. Okay.
And then tail whip is a but it failed, so we get to get that little optimization.
Yeah. I forgot you definitely have to speed here. Blaine's team is very high leveled and very fast in this game.
Jeez.
Everything a little bit.
We're level 37.
Mhm.
He's level 54.
Yeah, we have Horn Drill.
Yo.
It kind of makes sense, like the way you kind of did this with doing the really hard gyms earlier, and that enough levels so that you can use moves like Thunderbolt for these fights, because using Oko moves for some of these Pokemon, 1 would waste a lot of PP, and 2 is a little bit slower.
Yeah, and you'd have to use a lot more X speeds without having the speed badge boost from Koga.
Yeah, Koga specifically is really nice to get out of the way for the speed badge boost. Could mention badge boosts. What we're referring to is you have an invisible 9/8 boost to attack, speed, special, and defense when you get certain badges. So, for example, Brock gives you the attack badge boost, Koga for speed, Blaine for special, and Surge for defense. So when you have
Which
those,
are not what you tell you happens.
yeah, the game tells you completely wrong info. What I told you is correct, but yeah. With those badges, you get those boosts. It's 9/8, but whenever your stats get changed, it reapplies the badge boosts. So if you get growled, you become faster if you have Koga's badge. And those badge boosts go away if you level up in battle, if you switch out, if the fight ends, or if you get KO'd. So there's a lot of planning around that. So you might see like using an X speed to boost the special stat to do more damage, like Thunderbolt, for example. I'm not sure if that's going to be in the TAS, but there might be some situations where that does come into play. And on to Giovanni. Giovanni's actually like a lot scarier in yellow than red blue because he has a Persian.
Ooh.
And the Persian has Growl, which is really annoying, but again, in a TAS, criticals are a nice thing that can happen rarely, but you know.
Yeah, we've hit level 40 now, so we have really high like base damage.
Mhm.
And we can do things like thunderbolting a Persian, which you would never even think of doing in RTA.
Yeah. Can't
Now the-
unfortunately you have to waste a Blizzard on this Rhyhorn. If Thunderbolt could hit it, it probably would just go hit.
And we Blizzard the Nido Queen as well, because it's super effective.
Yeah.
you
Move management
still
is probably so crazy here.
We go on to one of these teleporter pads so that the dig animation is faster, because it flings you up out of the gym.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
This next fight's gonna be very funny for RTA runners who've lost like 20 runs to this. Just
Yeah.
crit Thunderbolts.
Oh yeah,
and-
just go into Black Belt at 21 with no save, no big deal.
Yeah. This fight's like a nightmare in RTA speedrunning because you just go into this fight and you can't Oko the Machokes straight up on turn 1, but in a TAS you can critical and everything's easy.
You can even crit Thunderbolt. You don't even need to worry about using Blizzard.
Yeah,
Wow.
Machokes are like pretty frail. It's interesting how like easily they go down here. Thunderbolt non-crit might even kill this Machop. Oh, still needs the crit.
I think you need 1 or 2 more levels for the non-crit.
Oh yeah, I forgot how low level you are. Right? Yeah, you're 42 here.
Yeah. Like earlier, we were just talking about like, oh, we're so high level right now, and now since we went straight from Sylph to Giovanni, it's like, oh, we're really low level for this part.
Yeah.
because usually, you would do all the other gyms after doing Sylph.
Now we're gonna
Yeah, the
exit
real-
the gym and go back in just to reset all of the enemy positions, just to walk right through to the end.
Spinning pad's bad, especially as
Jeez,
a
they're so slow.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
can't remember how many times, like in trying to like learn routing for these games, that I was like, oh, let's just use the spin pads, and then you skip this trainer, and then it's like, actually, oh, well, what do you do after you leave Giovanni? You're stuck, and you have to use the spin pads again. It's also like ridiculous that you would go into this fight at 21. You get guard spec manip because it's faster than any of the moves being used.
Yeah, Giovanni normally is 75%, or there's 4 things he can do against Nidoking because good AI. It's Fissure, Dig, Earthquake, or Guard Spec. And you want Fissure normally, because you're going to outspeed and be faster, and if you're faster, he can't hit you with Fissure. But if you get Earthquake or Dig and he crits you, you just lose the run. So this is like one of the scarier fights in the yellow speedrun. But in TAS, you just get Guard Spec and then destroy him with Horn Drill and Blizzard, potentially.
And you even drill a Rhydon, because you don't care so much about the ineffective text.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Blizzard, you'll have to get a super effective text.
Yeah. I'm forgetting the Fissure TM here, so you'll be teaching that for the Viridian Rival.
Yeah. So we're not going to need to refill our PP. We'll have the Fissure PP for that fight, and then we'll refill it as part of one of our other menus for biking on the way to the Elite Four.
Yeah, only 6 fights left in the game at this point, but they're all pretty hard fights, and there's probably some really cool strats to be used.
Yeah, there's gonna be some really intricate things going on. So we also haven't taught strength yet, because the optimal place to teach it is as part of this scroll down to use Fissure.
Oh, that's so cool! Teaching it over Dig, that's awesome.
Yeah, because we're never going to use Dig again.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how you use Fissure to make it so broken.
Oh, you'll see. There's going to be some broken stuff going on.
Okay.
Yeah, Fissure's just ground type Horn Drill, so it's gonna be pretty broken having 2 Oko moves on the Nidoking instead of just 1. Yeah, rival with 6 Pokemon, so gonna have to not Fissure something.
Shen's thinking ahead, and we're blizzarding the Sand Slash.
Blizzard crit the Sand. Oh, just Blizzard.
Oh, not even crit.
Yeah, Sand Slash.
And Fissure.
Now the unfortunate side effect is it's not very effective against Execute. So because it's a ground type move, it's gonna be super effective against the Magneton.
Yeah, super effective one AKO move.
Yeah, super effective against Ninetales. You have to just deal with the text because it's faster than ethering the Horn Drill.
Yeah.
Oh, speeding on the Ninetales.
And the quick attack to 4 HP.
Yeah. This is also swag HP strats, because like we could get deeper with the quick attack, but we don't need to, because that'll get us exactly the HP we need to get all the way through the last rival, the champion.
Is it slower to take more damage? Does it take like longer to scroll down?
Yeah, it takes a time to scroll down, like depending on how much of the HP bar has to be eliminated.
Yeah, so it is a little bit faster potentially to live on 4 than live on 1. Yeah, there's Charmander's strength on top.
And also, nicknaming Charmander is used in TAS, whereas you wouldn't normally do that in RTA, because it has all 3 of the moves: Cut, Dig, and Strength.
Yeah, so it's better to nickname it so that you don't have to see its name over and over. I'm hoping for some swag boulders, because you can use it for RNG manipulation too.
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling we may see some swag boulders. It makes too much sense. I'm being too logical here. I'm just so hopeful. Also, yellow lag. Enjoy. This is yellow exclusive lag.
Yeah, this boulder pushing takes an eon.
This room in particular, it's like extremely laggy. I think it's because there's like 3 item balls, a bunch of trainers, and Moltres. Yeah, there's just a lot of sprites that have to be loaded. There's a really cool glitch you can do in yellow. If you have 4 boulders on the screen and Pikachu, Pikachu disappears because it can't have 5 of those sprites loaded at the same time. Yeah, it can only load 4 at once, so the 5th sprite gets deleted, which is usually Pikachu.
Hey.
There's one. Alright.
Yeah, this often ends up being a really annoying place to have to do RNG minute, because you could be getting encountered this entire time you're doing all this movement. And so you have to very carefully plan out when you're going to either do pauses or swag boulders or stuff to avoid the encounters.
Alright, finally got the boulder pushed. And it is time for E4. Yeah. You haven't had to use any healing items either throughout this run to manipulate like HP. Just managed to do it all without any healing.
Yeah, you do it all with attack.
Oh, it's faster than deposit.
Oh, really?
Nice swag PC at the end there.
I see you.
Alright, time for some YOLO, starting with Eagle Lorelei, going in at like 3 HP.
Definitely something you don't see very often.
This is normally where I joke and say, we gotta get rest here, but I mean, why bother with rest when you can just kill it?
Yeah, we don't even use X accuracy or X speed because of the Yeah, we're like already faster than everything.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're faster than Jinx, actually. That's probably a little close.
Probably a little close, yeah.
Jinx has 120 speed. I'm curious how much speed you have. Yeah, pretty easy fight here. Going with Horn Drill, do you swap Horn Drill and Fissure for like each fight?
No.
Okay, so you keep it in the same order.
Yeah. We do use Fissure on Jinx because there's one Pokemon where we would have to get a super effective text if we instead used Drill on the... So we can use Fissure twice here because we can stay on Fissure after Fissuring the Jinx. So it's only 7 frames lost to switching moves. And then we're going to save a whole text box later because of having extra drills.
Yeah, you need, was it 3 Fissures, 2 drills for Agatha, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I think 4 Fissures and a drill for Agatha.
Oh, you Fissure the Arbok, interesting.
No, you're right. It is 3 Fissures. And
yeah, okay, so that's where you save the text box.
On the Arbok.
Yeah, okay, so that way you skip the super effective text.
Yeah, so you Blizzard the Onyx here.
And I'm assuming you also Blizzard the Hitmonchan.
Oh, yeah.
These things in Gen 1 have less special bulk than, I think, even Caterpie. They're weaker than specially. Hitmons are just, like, actually garbage. They have 30 special, which makes them, like, horrible to special moves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are easily KO'd by Blizzard.
Yeah, but by the time you become a champ, its HP is so high that you can't quite kill it with Blizzard, so you have to go back to drilling it.
Yeah,
That's why you have 2 drills.
You could Fissure it, but you need the Fissures to even hit the ghosts on Agatha.
Yeah, which is why we get Fissure. If we didn't need to hit the ghost.
Right, yeah, you're gonna you're able to Blizzard crit the Golbat. Right, so that's the last one. Okay. I was trying to think where you could save an Oko move, but I guess it's the Golbat. That ends up working out perfectly then. That's actually really cool.
3 fights because each is 5, and you just have to like change which ones are using which moves on.
Yeah, nice.
Like Gen 1 missed there.
Yeah, it works out perfectly.
Purple Gengar looks really cool.
Oh god.
There's a but it failed text if you manipulate like I think it's sleep something. What is it? Is it hypnosis? There's a but it failed text. But there's a wind up animation for some reason when but it failed happens on hypnosis. So it ends up being faster to manipulate a longer text message.
Is that the only move like that?
I think so.
Huh.
Definitely the only move you would see like that in the run. Maybe there's other moves, but that's really interesting. And perfectly out of moves. Yeah, I was wondering, because you effectively have 15 moves for this segment, and you have to KO 15 Pokemon. So it's interesting how it works out perfectly, because, like, you have to think, okay, where can I use my 5 Blizzards? And it's like, well, none on Lorelei, obviously. And then it's like, okay, well, the Onyxes are obvious, the Hitmons, yeah, that makes sense. And it just so happens that Agatha's Golbat goes down. It worked out, like, actually perfectly.
And this is also, like, absolutely insane if you were an RTA and walking straight into Lance at something 20-something HP.
Yeah, Lance is even scarier for RTA runners in yellow because the Dragonairs have Ice Beam, or I think one of them does.
First one has Ice Beam and the second one has Hyper Beam.
Yeah, so in red-blue, they both have Agility, and that's the only move they can use against you. But in yellow, they can actually use other moves because they have other super effective moves.
Straight into drilling the Gyarados, so you already outspeed it even.
That's nuts.
You're not
Dragonairs because they're not flying; they're just dragons.
I'm like really curious about the Pterodactyl. What's about to happen? I feel like Blizzard Crit might kill.
Well.
Oh my! You surf it? Oh, Blizzard, right? You double input it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that looked like you picked surf there. Yeah, so
that would have been
Blizzard save.
Yeah, so we don't need to outspeed anything else. So we don't use X speed. We just give the 1 half turn to the Aerodactyl to Hyper Beam miss.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool fight. and you saved enough PP to be able to use Oko moves on the champion, because again, you have 10 Oko moves, and there's 11 Pokemon on these 2 fights, so you had to save an Oko move at least somewhere, and you saved 2 there, which is nice.
Yep.
So you can avoid super effective text by having horn drills instead of needing to use fissure.
Yeah, if you'd have to use more of the fissures on this next fight, it would cause even more like weirdness with extra super effective text.
Yeah, and the biggest thing about this fight is animations turn on, and luckily for us, horn drill's animation is super fast.
That is the most important thing, yeah.
Yeah, so having 4 horn drills is going to save a ton of time here.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Gonna lose some time to fissure, but it's not that bad at least. Speeding on the Alakazam, probably Kinesis miss. Perfect.
But it failed. Oh yeah.
Yeah. If that hits you, it loses a little bit of time, and that, like, you don't give this thing a turn in RTA, but like if you did for whatever reason, you'd have to get Kinesis and hope it misses. Otherwise, you just die. Executor is usually what you set up on in RTA.
Yup.
Hypnosis miss, you just wait for it.
At this point in the TAS, Kevin's hands were shaking. He was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
I don't know if I'm gonna hit the 420th frame, guys. I might not get there. I might only be 419th frame. It was actually pretty close though. So we're gonna see like a really nice little extra optimization at the end when we get our time checked in the Hall of Fame, where we save an extra full minute of the Hall of Fame time, just because of the extra like couple frames we saved in this.
That's really cool. In-game time starts and you get control.
And then when do I stop the timer on the fade out?
So in TAS, you would hit time on the text box clear here when you talk to Oak. So just about now.
Okay.
So yeah, that 133 time was a minute faster than 134 on the last attempts I was doing for the TAS of this.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That was really fun to watch. That was really sick. That awesome work on that, Kevin.
I really appreciate you bringing me on to show it off.
Dude, I'm so happy I was able to have you and Shen on here. You guys did an amazing job with commentary. Like, I just learned so much as somebody that's getting into the Gen 1 games like now, really looking more in depth on them. But it was interesting to see the differences even with Pokemon Yellow, which is supposed to be pretty much the same game, but there's still a lot of routing differences that you had done. That was awesome. But yeah, guys, go check out Shenanigans and TyKevin83. Their links aren't in the description yet, but if you're watching the VOD later, they will be. So go check out their Twitch channels, their YouTube channels. They make great Pokemon speedrunning related content. So awesome stuff. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Speedrun Saturdays. If you did, be sure to leave a like, as it's the best way to show support. We are live every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the dot, and if you want to catch the show live, all you need to do is subscribe and enable notifications to be notified when we go live. Lastly, I want to give a big thanks to our Patreon backers for supporting the series. Thank you guys so much. That's pretty much all I have to say. See you guys next time, and as always, I hope you all have a beautiful life.